I know Jeffrey was accused by an adult woman of abusing her, and that's the only thing that I knew until the shit hit the fan.
So prior to it becoming public knowledge, you were never aware
No.
of Jeffrey Epstein?
Absolutely not.
Were you ever
You have to wait till he finishes
Okay.
asking the question.
Sorry.
The court reporters will get mad at you if you don't.
Okay, so I think you said that. You said that you were not. Were you ever aware of Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell sexually abusing men or boys?
No.
Okay. How about trafficking men or boys?
No.
Prior to it becoming public knowledge, were you ever aware of Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell arranging for a prominent person to have sex with another person?
Never.
Okay. Can I ask you, Mr. Wexner, were you ever with Jeffrey Epstein in the presence of women or men in bathing suits or underwear?
No.
Never in the presence of women or men in bathing suits or underwear with Mr. Epstein?
No. I mean, if he was at the fashion show, if he was at the fashion show, he'd have seen women in underwear, but, 500 people.
So you're saying that if he was at a fashion show with you through the fashion business,
Yeah.
it may have been the case, but could it have been the case that you were with Mr. Epstein maybe prior to the fashion show or in another space?
No. Absolutely not.
So did any women or men ever model clothes for you in the presence of Mr. Epstein?
No.
So not at a fashion show and not in a private home or residence?
Being in the audience at the fashion show would have been the only possible time.
Are you aware of any individual that has given either a public statement or any information of anyone that has actually said that they believe you were with Mr. Epstein in the presence of women or men modeling clothes or underwear?
I think the answer is no, but I'm not sure I understand the question.
I'll move on. Just a direct question for you, sir. Also, did you yourself ever have a sexual encounter with any individual that was introduced to you by Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell?
No.
Did you personally have a sexual relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Are you aware that others have claimed that you had a sexual relationship with Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Did you ever suspect, sir, if Jeffrey Epstein ever had any sexual relationships with other men?
No.
But since it being public knowledge, you are now aware that Jeffrey Epstein had inappropriate sexual relationships with other women. Is that correct?
Yes, what I know from the press, the stories, yes.
Okay, thank you. Mrs. Ansari?
Thank you. I'd like to ask you about Epstein's properties and your visits to them. Of course, Epstein's New York and New Albany houses were originally yours, as we discussed earlier, and you also had a house in Palm Beach. Is that correct?
Objection. I think he testified that the house in New Albany was Mr. Kessler's.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just trying to clarify.
No, thank you. And the house in Palm Beach, was there a house that you had in Palm Beach? Sorry?
I did have a house in Palm Beach
Okay. Did you ever visit Epstein's home in Palm Beach?
once.
Can you tell us about that visit?
He bought a house in Palm Beach and he wanted me to see it. I think he wanted me and Abigail to see it. And we flew down on like a Sunday morning with friends of ours from Columbus. Looked at the house, congratulations, got back on the plane and came home. And it was a pretty modest house. Nothing special.
So one trip, in that trip, did you ever witness Donald Trump at the house?
No.
Do you recall any other prominent figures at the Palm Beach house?
No, it was just Jeffrey and my friends,
Who were the other friends?
Judy and Steve Tuckerman, Dr. Stephen Tuckerman and his wife Judith.
I'm sure they'll be delighted about that.
No, they won't be.
Did
They're in
you,
heaven.
did you ever visit his island in the U.S. Virgin Islands?
Yes,
Can you tell us about those visits?
yes. Jeffrey invited us to see it, and we were on a boat, and we went to the island with our kids. So Abigail, myself, but I can't remember how many kids we had, 2, 3, or 4, but at least 2, walked around for a while and left. Probably an hour visit.
Okay, an hour. So on that trip, do you recall seeing any prominent figures on the island?
No, and it was a pretty crummy island.
Okay. Did you ever visit his ranch in New Mexico or his house in Paris?
Do you want to break those up for clarity?
Did you ever visit his ranch in New Mexico?
It was the same kind of thing. He wanted Abigail and I to see his ranch. We flew down there and drove around for an hour or two, got back on the plane and came home. And I don't think he had a house.
So you would fly just to go visit for 1 hour?
Yeah, I would fly to Europe for 1 hour on business trips. As crazy it is, getting on the plane and going places for me was like going to the mailbox. And he didn't have a house on the ranch, and I never knew he had a house in Paris.
And in the ranch in New Mexico that you spent an hour at, were there any prominent figures or anyone that you recall else being there?
No, as I recall, it was just Abigail, myself, and I think he'd rented a trailer, so it wasn't a house. And that's all I know.
Okay. And so to clarify, you didn't know he had a house in Paris, so you did not ever go to the house in Paris?
I didn't know he had a house in Paris, and therefore I didn't go to the house in Paris.
Okay.
Didn't.
During any of your visits to any of these properties, did you ever see any girls or women that looked unusually young?
No.
Did you ever hear rumors of any girls or women who looked unusually young visiting Epstein's properties or island?
No, never did.
During any
Or
visits
Finch.
to Epstein's property, did you ever see photographs or other images of women or minors?
Not that I recall.
Did you ever become aware of Epstein transporting women or minors using assets that you owned, whether that's a plane that you owned or a yacht that you owned?
Absolutely not, no.
And did you ever hear of any rumors related to Epstein's personal life or his sexual activities?
No.
Rumors that you may have heard in the grapevine.
That's kind of ambiguous. I mean, like, I'll answer you in this. I think you're asking an ambiguous question. I would go to visit David Gergen at Harvard because I was very interested in the center of public leadership. And David would say, Jeffrey was up here, your friend Jeffrey was up here, and he was visiting Henry Rosofsky, who was the dean of Harvard College, or he was visiting Larry Summers, and he always has an admin with him, or, you know, a girl. And he says a woman, maybe more accurate, he said he never travels by himself.
And I think that's what I'm referring to. I mean, I don't think I'd get through a day without hearing a rumor about somebody. So I imagine somebody that you were close to, you probably heard.
No, but it wasn't, it was more like he was traveling with his admin or his secretaries or his lady lawyer or his lady accountant. That's what I would hear. But it wasn't, I never heard rumors about Jeffrey was traveling around with a girlfriend for this, or a girl. It was like, it was part of his, I don't know, social visits or something. It was always, if I heard, it was in reference to work, his work.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Crockett?
Yes, thank you. I actually want to start in a little bit of a different place really quickly. Dr. Mark Landon. Are you familiar with him?
Who?
Dr. Mark Landon.
Yes.
He was paid by Epstein on your behalf to consult on biomedical investments, is that correct?
I just heard about that. I didn't know that until maybe, I don't know, the last few days.
Okay, so with you knowing Dr. Mark Landon, are you aware as to whether or not Dr. Landon ever was paid to render medical services to any of the alleged victims of Jeffrey Epstein?
No?
What is your relationship with Dr. Landon?
Abigail had a complicated pregnancy, and their general obstetrician, I believe, referred her to Mark Landon. He is an obstetrician. And that's how I met him, and he delivered our children.
Okay.
And so my relationship with him is my wife's doctor.
Did you ever introduce him to Jeffrey Epstein?
No.
Okay. All right. Did you ever spend time with Epstein and Donald Trump?
Together?
Yes.
I want to answer this question accurately. I would go to some of the Victoria's Secret fashion shows because it's very important to the brand. At some of the fashion shows, Jeffrey was there and some Trump was there. And I remember because Trump would always introduce himself to me. And I always thought it was kind of odd that he was at the fashion show because he had nothing to do with fashion. So the coincidence of them being together at an event, it could have been that, but I have no specific recollection. I never had a social or like a drink or a cup of coffee, something, you know, that would put them together.
Okay, so just to clarify, because I want to make sure we're clear on the record, you're saying that you can recall instances potentially where Epstein and Trump were together and you were in their presence, or just a random scenario where Epstein may be there, Trump may be there separately, and then you would be there?
It would be at random. That would be accurate. If it happened, but I have no specific recollection.
Okay. Did you ever see or become aware of President Trump having a sexual relationship with a person who was introduced to him by Epstein or Maxwell?
No.
Has Donald Trump ever discussed Jeffrey Epstein with you?
No.
Did Jeffrey Epstein ever discuss Donald Trump with you?
I would describe it, he would name drop it. So he would say things like, I know President Clinton, or I know the Pope, or I know God, or, you know, or I know you. It was that kind of name dropping, but never, I can't remember a specific place, but Jeffrey dropped a lot of names.
Okay. So to clarify, you believe he's specifically dropped Donald Trump's name?
No, I'm saying it could have, and I don't remember.
Okay. Did Epstein ever share any information with you about Donald Trump's sexual activities?
No.
Do you have a relationship with Donald Trump?
No.
But you've met him before.
He introduced himself to me at the fashion show a couple of times, but I wouldn't say, hello, how are you? You know, like you say, met, like we knew each other. We don't know each other. He wouldn't. I'd be shocked if he remembered me.
Okay. And I know that you specifically mentioned the island, that you have been to Jeffrey's Island. Do you recall seeing any of those persons that Jeffrey Epstein would name drop while you were on his island?
No, nobody was there but Abigail, myself, Jeffrey, maybe somebody cutting grass or something. There was a maintenance person, I think, but I don't specifically recall. I know for sure I was there. Abigail was there. Jeffrey was there.
And there wasn't anything abnormal about the appearance of the home on the island, and the reason that I asked, just to give you clarification on what I mean by abnormal, we've heard reports of people being thrown off when they walked into his home in New York because there was a massage table that was just sitting randomly in the middle of a room. Did you see anything like that when you visited any property that belonged to Jeffrey Epstein?
Well, first to clarify, when we visited the island, there was like a Pueblo building, like maybe a one room and a bathroom or something. It was pretty crummy. And the island was crummy. There were no trees, there was no sand, there was no beach. It was a kind of a peculiar thing. It was an island, but it was like a pile of rocks. It was just, I was kind of shocked that that anybody would buy it for any purpose. As far as seeing things, I never was in the house. I never at his house in New York. The house in Florida, we were there after he bought it because I mentioned with the couple, so I never saw a massage table or anything.
Well,
Thank you so much, Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Wexner, for your ability to answer a lot of questions. I think when you meet the survivors, it becomes incredibly personal, especially for women on this committee, so I appreciate it. But I'd like to introduce exhibit, I believe it's F. The article is titled, Jeffrey Epstein Made Regular Payments to Ohio State Head of Gynecology, Records Show, which is from a local affiliate. It's dated February 10, 2026, and we'll be able to get it to you. And it's about Dr. Landon. I know they're passing it out, but Mr. Wexner, in the article, explains that recent Department of Justice files indicate that in early 2000, Epstein was making quarterly payments to Dr. Michael Landon, who is the OBGYN and the chair of the OBGYN department at Ohio State University. And you said that your wife received services from Dr. Landon, so you know him.
Yes.
Okay, Dr. Landon said the payments were consulting services he provided for New York Strategy Group, which was some kind of firm associated with Epstein. Do you know why? Why was he getting paid the quarterly payment by Epstein?
Not a clue.
Do you know if there was gynecology services being offered to Epstein for victims, women?
No idea.
Because you're very associated with the Ohio State University, right?
Yes.
You were the board chair. Okay. Were you aware that Jeffrey Epstein was paying him quarterly payments?
No.
You weren't.
No.
Okay, so the article suggests that Epstein would bill you and your wife for at least one of these payments in 2005. Quote, as we have in prior years. That's evidence within the Department of Justice, Mr. Wexner. Were you aware of these $25,000 quarterly payments coming from your accounts in 2005 and earlier?
Not till this moment.
You know, Mr. Wexner, I'm watching this all unfold, and I just want you to know it's incredibly hard for people to understand you don't know this. Maybe you don't know the specific details. Maybe you don't know the dollar amounts. But Epstein was able to be empowered and enabled to hurt more people with your money. You understand that?
Oh, yeah, he's a crook.
I know. But you don't know the purpose of the payment, and the money's coming from you. It's your money. And you don't know why he's paying a doctor at Ohio State University.
Sadly, I don't.
Did you introduce him to Dr. Landon?
No.
How did he meet Dr. Landon?
I wouldn't know that he met him.
Because Abigail, your wife, received services from Dr. Michael Landon.
Yes, and so did my daughter.
Okay. So was it a routine practice for the New York State Strategy Group's expenses to be paid by your accounts?
I never heard of it.
It's weird because it's your money going in to pay for this consulting services of another company.
It's weird to me, too.
So Dr. Landon never talked to you about these
Never.
quarterly payments?
Never.
Something else that comes up, because one of the claims that you're saying is you're not close friends and everything, but you know, some of us have access to the redacted emails, some of us already, I think majority of us
Sure.
have gone down there. There is constant claims from survivors, again, they're redacted from some of the communication directly with Maxwell or directly with other women that were helping Epstein. And your name comes up synonymously sometimes with Epstein. Did you know that?
Well, I know it now.
Well, they also said that you were lovers. And I know it's nothing to be ashamed of. I just want you to know.
It's so crazy.
No, it's nothing to be ashamed of. But it would explain, I think, the closeness that everyone consistently says. No one ever says you're not close. Is that, like, everyone says that you had a close relationship, that you and Epstein were close friends. Did you know that?
Objection, hearsay.
Okay. I think, Mr. Wexner, could you provide us with the name of every registered legal entity? And this is important, because if you don't know now, then give us the information. Help us find the people that hurt the girls with your money. I'm asking and urging you to, please. You started your business with your Aunt Ida's money. You don't want your legacy to be not just Epstein, but Dr., what is the guy's other's name? Dr. Richard Strauss? It's Richard Strauss, who also well, it doesn't matter. You were chair of the Ohio State University. You were the board chair at the time that he hurt other women, athletes on campus. This is to say to you, it's not only one person that hurt women, but now two that are affiliated with you directly. And I just want to urge you that if you don't know the answers to this, follow up with our committee, give us the information so we can find out who hurt the women and who benefited from it. So could you provide us with the name of every registered legal entity of which you were the beneficial owner between the start of your relationship with Mr. Epstein and his death? Can you provide that to the committee, sir?
I would provide you with everything and anything I could to nail that
Please
son of
provide
a
the
bitch.
entities' names, where they were registered, and the date of registration, and the names of whoever acted as the agent of those entities.
Can I request that you just put that request in writing and direct it to me,
I'll make sure.
and we'll take it
And-
and
And
respond
it's
to it.
important because, Mr. Wexner, so you know, the women, the survivors told us to follow the money.